Welcome back to All Day Live. It is 1:18 in the afternoon here on a Wednesday, and we're glad that you're with us. This week we are spending some time with candidates running for mayor of St. Paul. Monday we talked with Mike Hilborn. Yesterday it was Adam Dellinger. And today it's Yan Chen. And tomorrow Kaliher. Melvin Carter's campaign has not responded. It's the same format as last week when we interviewed candidates in Minneapolis. It's 10 minutes, timed, live. Topics were sent out ahead of time, but then I'll be asking questions specific to each candidate. And we've just asked that they not criticize other candidates because there is no opportunity to respond. So again, today's candidate is Yan Chen, a scientist and business owner. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Amy, for having me.
And we will, I'll keep time here. I've got a timer, I've got a producer kind of keeping time, and we'll let you know where we're at throughout our conversations. And I've been telling everybody if answers are like 30 seconds to about a minute, we should be able to get through about the same number of questions. So, so we'll start your time now, and we will start with public safety and policing. So what should the city's highest priorities be when it comes to public safety?
Well, I think we definitely need to deal with petty crime, right? Petty crime, it sounds a nuisance, but on the other hand, it's a fabric for our society. If we don't deal with petty crime, we wouldn't be able to prevent the crime. Petty crime is a symbol, it's a symptom. Somebody is in stress. Somebody doesn't know how to manage his life, and he's making mistake. So that's the time the society needed to step in and dealing with petty crime.
So crime, and then specifically starting with kind of petty crime is where you would want to start. Are you satisfied with how St. Paul Police Chief Axel Henry is running the department?
I'm very satisfied with him, absolutely. The reason why is he is actually very engaged in community. From all what I can observe, he is doing an excellent job. But right now, the issue is the bottleneck is not on him. In my opinion, the bottleneck is at the state level and at the county level. Right? I think if you think about America, what the tools we're lacking for public safety, I would say is learning how to do rehabilitation. Because America is a very free society, and people can make mistakes, and they will make mistakes. And so here is the point, it's so important we learn how to rehabilitation, and that's really county and the state job.
Okay, so you're saying that's where the bottleneck is, state and county, and then rehabilitation would be a focus of yours. We talked earlier about the city putting forth a gun ordinance today, kind of a symbolic ban on assault weapons, binary triggers, ghost guns. Again, symbolic move because the lawmakers at the state level are the only ones who can make this change. If measures like this don't move forward at the state level, what's your plan to address gun violence in St. Paul?
I think you already hit the nail at its head, right? It's symbolic. And my administration, I will try to avoid symbolic movement. Let's using the tool we have and solve the problem immediately. What's the tools we have? And what tools we have, I think I already mentioned to you, is really preventing crime, identify issue before it become escalated. And so that's really, I think we can do better. In fact, St. Paul Police Department is doing an excellent job. I think this morning I read the report, St. Paul actually reducing the violent crime by 70%. That's excellent achievement. It shows by preventing the crime, actually you can do a lot to prevent the future violent crime.
So prevention and rehabilitation when it comes to public safety are two things that you would be behind. Okay, you would stand behind. Let's talk about the economy just a little bit, and we're just over 3 minutes in, so just under about 7 minutes. Last month, the city of St. Paul started tearing down the vacant CVS at Snelling and University after years of complaints about drugs and vandalism. If this space eventually becomes an asset to that neighborhood, what would be your plans to keep that ball rolling in the Midway neighborhood?
So I think, again, let's figure out the problem in that neighborhood, right? I think that neighborhood is really, CVS is really the result, not the symptom, not the cause. And the cause is really, I think, that the crime situation. I think that really simplifies what happened to Cup Foods. They just closed. And so it has nothing to do with the management. Of course, you always can blame on the management. It can do bad. Absolutely, any business can do bad. But the problem is with business, their goal is always making profit. And that's realistic, that's what they need to focus on. But I think it is very important for our government to focus on what we can do to nourish the environment. And so crime is a big issue. We have to deal with heads on.
Staying with the economy, St. Paul residents are facing one of the largest property tax increases in recent memory. The city's poorest neighborhoods will be hit especially hard. So specifically, what plan do you have to help reduce that tax burden?
Yeah, so basically, I come back to the issue why I even decided to run for mayor, right? Really naively, in the beginning, 3 years ago, I opened our city budget the first time. And what I saw in the budget alarmed me. Because as a scientist, I plotted the data since 2008. And when I look at the trajectory, I look at the spending and I look at the revenue, both in the wrong direction. And at that moment, I already can make a prediction that is our property tax going to getting hit because that's the easiest part of money to go for it. And that's irresponsibility, right? Because we cannot do that to residents. Residents, I mean, how many people were willing to do that, to study the budget, to keep an eye on the government like this level? So that's what really alarmed me and make me keep going forward. Here's the good news. We can do it. We don't need to keep increase tax, and we can improve our service. That's why I put on my YASA, right? Because I did 3 years of study our city budget and look at the ground situation, see what's our performance. And when I'm analyzing our performance versus our budget, I think we can do a lot better. So in my administration, it will be really performance driven. So every program, because that's mayor's job, mayor in charge is 3,000 employees, and there will be a lot of variety of programs. So for us, we can look at individual program, think about, is this program effective? If they're effective, are they efficient? So by looking at this and compare with neighboring city, because I can tell you with confidence, I studied the other cities' budget, and the other city can do better. Sometimes it's a small city, sometimes it's really equivalent in size as our city. We all can do better. So I think it's time for being innovative, to look outside of the box and don't keep doing the same thing and hope the result will be different. One thing I love to say is let's stop rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic. Let's figure out the root cause and do things differently.
Okay, three minutes left. I wanted to ask you about the public school system. St. Paul, heavily diverse school district. What are the biggest challenges facing the classrooms right now?
Like what you said, that's already very clear, right? Because the diversity is our strength, but if we don't know how to manage it, we don't serve the student right. And the diversity is in the core, but I think that's really the issue. When you give such a diverse student body to a teacher, at the end of the day, we ignore the lower performance student, and we also ignore that the student has high performance. And this is not acceptable. So I think diversity is really very crucial. We need to learn how to deal with it. And that's, again, the innovation. We don't need to do the same thing over again with the ideology. Everybody have to achieve everything at the same time. Let's look at the issue. I think there is no point to keep kids pushing forward when they even don't have the basic math reading skill. Let's make sure we focus on this basic skill. Then also, we don't need to make every kid achieve to become college bound. Why? There's no reason. So let's focus on the student, what's their strengths and what's their weakness. because all of them will have a different one. And let's focus on their strengths, amplify them, and provide them tools to help them moving forward.
Okay, we have 60 seconds left. Could you just tell us a little bit more? What do you want people to know about you as a person?
Well, I guess one of the things, I'm a scientist, right? Because I think it is very unique why scientists want to be in this position. I'm an introvert too, but I'm changing. I'm learning. I think the important part I really want people to learn is, as a scientist, we are much more performance driven. Every experiment I do, I look at the result, I think about it, I reflect on what I learn, and then I adapt, I change it. So I think that's one thing I really love about America, the freedom, have the ability to reinvent yourself and do new things. And I think that's really what I want people to remember, scientists are not...
Thank you. Just a few seconds left. So thank you for your time, candidate Yan Chen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
That's great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.